I know you kind of saw the topic list or whatever. I'm curious to see what you were feeling about some of those things. But I saw Shadrack just landed at TCU, I think this last week. Is
Mhm.
that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I live around the Fort Worth area, so I do keep up with TCU fairly well, and I hope it's a good landing spot for him. But you do expect him to land in Big 12, or do you have any idea where that
Um.
might be going?
So there was a little bit. I think it was about. Oh man, I can't remember exactly when, but there was a few times where he had told me that he was about to decommit whenever he was committed. He hadn't signed yet, and he told me he was going to go to Auburn at that time. So whenever it first happened, I was like, it's either Auburn or TCU. And apparently Auburn, for whatever reason, I don't think they liked him at linebacker. I guess. So they immediately went out, and then apparently the whole Texas rumors came out, and that got a little interesting. For a little bit, it kind of looked like Texas was making ground, but it ended up being TCU. I wasn't too shocked about it being TCU because there's so many North Shore guys there. They have Zach Evans, they have that DB, I can't remember his name, but it's just full of North Shore kids. So I wasn't too shocked about it, but it's gonna be a good landing spot for him, I think.
Yeah. There was a lot of rumors, kind of flying around about, why the decommitment happened. I'm not sure if you can share any light on that, or if you even knew much about it. But I'm sure people would love, I mean, to hear. You kind of get a little bit of a vibe. I think I heard at one point there was an issue like in the meeting room or something like that, but just not
Mhm.
really sure what the validity is of that. And I don't like to spread rumor. It's not a good way
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah. I talked to him a little bit about it, and then I talked to Demas about it because him and Demas are really close.
Mm,
And what I got from it was it's probably just a small part of it. That's probably not the whole thing, but he just didn't feel like he really fit in with the social group of it. So
hmm
he kind of felt like he was off to the distance a little bit. And that kind of I think that kind of shocked him whenever he got there. And I think that kind of started the whole downfall of it. But yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if there was other factors about him being asked to go to linebacker or something like that. I totally expect that to be a possible situation why that he did leave.
That's really odd. Whenever we were recruiting him, I remember, tweeting at him and saying like, wow, this guy's a wide receiver. I was looking at him thinking he was a linebacker or something with the size that he had, right? Dude's built like a bulldozer. So is that something he was legitimately considering, or just didn't want to mess with the linebacker idea, or what?
Um, I think it kind of varied on the school he was looking at. I think at A&M he was a little bit hesitant to go to linebacker just because of how we've recruited linebacker. And I don't think he would have came here as a linebacker if we were recruiting him at a high school as a linebacker. So I think he kind of realized linebacker might be his best shot, and that might have been another reason he might have gone in. And it wouldn't shock me if he did just because of that
Hmm.
reason.
So are you thinking we wanted to keep him more as a wide receiver, but he was kind of, seeing the writing on the wall that maybe linebacker was his best shot, but we were still kind of thinking wide receiver for him?
I'm pretty sure I was talking to somebody and I heard that we gave him a shot at both positions, and I mean we were giving him a deadline about something. I think we if he really wanted to play receiver, they had the opportunity from there. But if you also wanted to try linebacker, the opportunity was here.
Interesting. Interesting. Not sure too many guys even have the opportunity really to go back and forth. Maybe just some of those guys that are recruited as a linebacker and they're kind of on the small side, or and then 2 or 3 years later they grow up and they're more of a defensive end or something. I guess is more typical way that takes place. But well, that's interesting. I saw it. I read an article. I think it was this last week on SDS. Not sure if you
Mm-hmm.
keep up with them too much or whatever, but they were making an argument that we had one of the best wide receiver cores in the SEC. I mean, with Shadrack's departure, what do you think about that?
I don't know about being one of the best in the SEC. I mean, Ole Miss has some good guys. Georgia always has some dudes. Alabama, I don't know. It depends because the thing is, I think if you want to put us in that conversation, we have to have a little bit more consistency out of Chase Lane, and then you have to have Demas emerge. Obviously, I want to see Hezekiah have a little bit more of a big play potential every time I give it to him, because this last season, whenever we give it to him, it's kind of just like more of a check down each time.
Mm,
But I do think if we want to be in that conversation, we're gonna have to have a true number one, I think. I think that's something we're lacking right now as a true number one.
Yeah, I think that's the same knock they kind of gave on us as well. Probably pretty standard or whatever. I think, Jimbo's given high praise to Demas in the last, a few coaches' nights. So looks like he's maybe filling him out and liking his progress. Or, I guess Ainias feels like a number one a little bit. Maybe it's lacking a breakout exactly, but maybe he doesn't have the go up top ability like Demas might possess with his size and height. But maybe we can safely get us in the top three, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, man. We have a lot of potential at the receivers position, so it'll be exciting.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's a position group I would not have, I think, ever even considered we might be in the top three in the SEC. But hey, I think things are changing. I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, same thing goes for defensive line, and cornerbacks have transformed. I mean, I'm excited. I know.
Yeah, defensive line, especially defensive line. It's insane how much talent we have at the defensive line right now.
So, with that being said, let's just go kind of start off with this. When it comes to Demas, do you expect him to be on the field September 4th?
Yeah, he's gonna be there. Yeah,
he's gonna be there. So he'll start camp off. He's gonna win a number one or a starting position.
Yeah, it looked like in spring he was the top 3 guy each time. So they were changing it in and out a little bit. They're putting Moose in there. They're giving Moose a few snaps there. It looked like a lot of Ainias was the number 1 guy. I think he's the only guy who really has a spot locked into the starting rotation. But I wouldn't be shocked to see Demas be starting. I think he will.
Yeah, that's exciting. I know everybody else in the stadium wanted to see him play. We've been all chomping at the bit. We really think very highly of that guy, right? I mean, we're talking about being in that number 1 conversation. I know Alabama's got, they just finished up with Waddle and Smith, as a Heisman, and potentially have Mechie, I think, trying to take over that number 1 spot this next year. So if Demas can do it for us, or somebody else, you never know who might come out of nowhere. I mean, Wydermyer's not exactly a wide receiver, but neither was Pitts, right?
Yeah,
I think that's exciting. I do hope we see him. I'm looking forward to him.
Yeah, he'll be there. I can guarantee that he'll be there. I think he'll finally be able to get a good amount of snaps to where we'll finally be able to get a full grasp on where he's progressed, especially route running, because he's looked really good route running as well. Because he sent me a few clips from practice, and he looked really good.
Do you think it's just a simple matter of Jimbo's trust?
Not
that he doesn't trust Demas, but like that's how he decides if he's ready to play you.
Yeah. I think I think that's mainly why we never really saw any hesitation from Jimbo's part with Kellen. It's because he trusts Kellen all the time. So you never really saw other guys get a shot. And that worked out for Jimbo. I mean, Orange Bowl champion.
Hey, speaks for itself.
How
about Cup? What you think he's going to be in the starting rotation? Going to go 2 tights more often? What?
I think we will. I think sadly we might abandon the spread a little bit, even though we didn't quite go through that too much this season. But I do think we're going to see a little bit more 2 tight end action, especially if Cup is healthy. And even if you see Blake Smith healthy, I think you can see a lot of 2 tight end action. Because I know they really like Blake Smith.
Really? Yeah, love to see Cup out there. I know he's been through it the last 2 years with the injuries. And I guess they held him out of the spring game just for precautionary reasons. Yeah.
Precautionary. Right now, I was talking to him a little bit while back, and he told me it was full running and everything. He feels great.
Yeah. Getting back to Demas just a little bit, because I thought it was kind of maybe an interesting parallel. I think it was maybe about this time last year when Leon O'Neal hit the transfer portal. Maybe I got my time frame off just a little bit or something. But, he went through that point and he wasn't real sure you know, if he was coming back or not coming back, he decided to come back, and man, that guy is a blessing to have on the team. I feel like he is a leader. He's charged up. You think Demas is doing some parallel action to that?
And looking at the transfer portal,
Well, you know, not that he was looking at it necessarily, but just, you know, you kind of see the adversity that's been kind of taking place. People have been speculating whether or not he's going to transfer because he's
yeah,
not really getting the playing time. One of the people I look at too on Twitter is Footwork King to see what
mm-hmm.
he's kind of saying. He seems to have an inside scoop on, you know, Demas as well. And he was always adamant about, no, he's not going anywhere. He's staying put. You know, I just kind of thought, you know, it was maybe Leon has worn off a little bit on some of the younger guys and has really taken a leadership role to help, you know, kind of take them under his wing a little bit. Mm-hmm. So maybe he sees Leon, you know, his decision as, you know, one that was for the better, you know, stick with your decision. Mm-hmm. Don't necessarily be so quick to look elsewhere.
Yeah. On Demas transfer, I know there's a lot of speculation about possibly doing it. And I know especially towards like the end of his cycle to where he was about to sign and he took those visits to the Gators and the Oklahoma Sooners, I believe. A lot of people was thinking he was going to leave. I talked to Demas every other day or so. And so he always gave me a heads up, whatever he was thinking. And he never told me once that he was thinking about transferring. And then Footwork's really involved in all that. He's a really good guy, especially for the Aggies. Mm-hmm. He trains all those guys. I mean, he had Isaiah Spiller there today. He had the whole defensive line group last week. So, I mean, he's very involved in A&M and just overall the Texas training.
Yeah, definitely an asset. Anytime he puts something out, I'm looking at it, I'm trying to figure out what he's saying or, you know, what the inside scoop is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, looking forward to seeing Demas Cup. Wish Shadrack the best. Hopefully that's going to work out for him.
Yep.
TCU's a cool team, you know.
Yeah, I've always loved TCU. I've always loved their jerseys. I think that's a huge pull for people. Yeah,
maybe you count them as kind of the Oregon of Texas.
Yeah, them or Texas Tech. I like Texas Tech as well. I've always loved those two schools, like jersey wise.
Have you been to a TCU game?
No, I actually haven't. I know. I almost played there because I used to play football all the time. I almost played there for a game and then they moved it to SMU. So I was really excited to go to TCU for that, but I hope to make one at least sometime just to see some guys that I've talked to that have went there.
Yeah, you know, it may not seat 100,000 or something like that, but that's a really nice stadium. They've really done a good job with fitting it in over there. I've been to a number of games and I enjoy it each time I go. Fans are really nice too. People around there are great. So he should like it there. Hopefully him and Evans will kick it off and they'll make some waves there. I think they will.
Texas a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there's one place, if you're transferring from Texas A&M, if there's one place I could ask you to go, it'd probably be TCU or Tech.
TCU or Tech.
Go bomb the Big 12, make some noise. Because I wanna play them more. I want to play Tech and TCU more. That'd be fun. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, I was teasing my Longhorn friend. I'm like, hey, you know, so Shadrack's going over to TCU. They, you know, we're gonna make it. What is it? 7 in a row. Make it 8 in a row next year.
Yeah,
I got to give them hell, right?
Yeah. I mean, that'd be awesome if they can continue that streak right now. That's insane.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting year with who TCU has on the field. Got some high level guys, you know, in there in some spots. Longhorns, you know, hitting that gas. That's for sure, right?
Yeah.
No brakes. So, I mean, everybody knows it at this point. That I mean, there's no denying it.
Yeah.